Hello everyone. Now we'll talk about the next part of the pulse polarography, that is the differential pulse polarography. We have already seen about the normal pulse polarography. Now we'll talk about the differential pulse polarography. So here one potential pulse is applied for each drop of mercury when the DMA is used, and a small pulse of constant amplitude is superimposed on a linear potential ramp. That is, in case of a normal pulse polarography, what we have done is we have taken a constant potential. Onto that we have applied a pulse potential onto the drop, and every drop we applied a potential of higher voltage, right? But in differential pulse polarography, what is done is the potential ramp, a linear potential ramp is used. That is, the initial potential is not kept constant. Linearly the potential is increased, and at every interval of time a potential equal pulse is applied. Potential of equal pulse, pulse of equal potential is applied, and the current is measured during that period, right? So potentials are applied just before the end of the each drop. Here also at the end of the life of the drop, that is before the drop falls into the cell, the potential pulse is applied. It is useful, this experiment is useful for measuring very trace levels of organic and inorganic species, inorganic compounds kind of thing. So in this, see what we were talking about is the potential ramp, a linear potential ramp is used like the DC polarography, where the potential is increased linearly, right? And onto this linear potential ramp at every equal intervals of time, that is the pulse time, a potential is applied, a pulse of potential is applied in this case, and every time the pulse is applied is equal. The pulse doesn't changes, only the actual potential that is been applied there, that keeps on increasing linearly, and the pulse amplitude applied is always same in all the drop cases, right? So instead of a linear change in applied potential with time, uses step changes, pulse in pulse in applied potential with time. And here the difference from the normal pulse flow, one more thing is that there are the current is measured twice in this particular, that is the two sample periods are there, where the current is measured before the pulse is applied at this particular position, and after, at the end of the pulse, that is once before the drop falls into the cell, the current is measured. So every pulse it is applied, so everywhere the initial current is measured before the pulse is applied, and then at the end of the pulse the current is again measured. So two times the current is measured in all cases. So you can see the potential ramp here, what we can see. So potential, applied potential is increased linearly, and at every pulse period equal pulse is applied. So the pulse duration is around 50 milliseconds to 60 or 70 milliseconds, whichever is been applied there. But the current here also is measured after the 40 milliseconds time, that is at the end of the what you call drop life, the current is measured. So before the pulse is applied, a current is measured, and at the end of the drop life, the current is measured, right? So the difference between these two currents is used for a plot. So that's why it is called as a differential pulse polarography, right? So the potential of the applied voltage, that is around 50 millivolts here, that is used. So this is 50 millivolts pulse amplitude, the potential volts is constantly applied onto the drop. So as the linearly the potential is increased, at every equal intervals time the pulse is increased by 50 millivolts, and then it comes to a increase the next potential ramp, and then again after a particular ramp again the same potential is pulse is applied, then it comes back to a slightly higher potential, then again the 50 millivolts potential pulse is applied, and this goes on till the EF value has been crossed kind of thing. So the plot what is measured, the plot that has been made is with respect to the difference in the current, that is current measured at the end of the pulse and current measured before the pulse is applied, that is S2 minus S1, right? That gives you the delta I difference in current, and this is plotted against the potential. So this is potential versus differential current, and this is the peak that you get for a differential pulse polarigraphy. It is not the sigmoidal curve that you got for normal pulse polarigraphy. So differential pulse polarigraphy, you get a peak kind of polarigram, and the E peak, this corresponds to approximately or it is approximately equal to the E half of the electroactive species. So at E half values, you obtain the E peak peak potential, and the height of this peak, what you get, is directly proportional to the concentration of the electroactive species. The advantage of differential pulse polarigraphy is that it gives a well-resolved peak, allowing the determination of species that have E value as close as 40 millivolts. Means if you have two species in a sample which are very close by E half values, the difference is around 40 millivolts, that is 0.04 volts if you take, right? So in this area, if there are 0.04, so the difference, such a small different samples can also be analyzed with if a species is having very low current generation also, that can also be easily detected in a differential pulse polarigraphy, because the peak of around 20 nanoampere can also be detected in a differential pulse polarigraphy, right? So the detection limit, that is the sensitivity, right? It can detect a concentrated solution of around 10 power minus 8. Very low concentration solutions can also be detected in this particular experiment. It is a fast experiment where the scan rates is around 10 to 50 millivolts per second range can be applied, and the peak potential what we get is equal to the polarigraphic half-wave potential and can be used for identifying the particular electroactive species. So because the peaks are resolved in the polarigram, so based upon the peak at a particular potential, the E half value can be determined. Based upon the E half value, you can determine which kind of electroactive species is present in the sample. So it is useful in analyzing the mixtures. The other type of pulse polarigraphy what we have is a staircase voltammetry. So why this is called a staircase is the potential wave that is applied. Right, the wave is kind of a staircase form. That is the time versus potential plot what we get is shows a staircase nature. That's why it is called as a staircase voltammetry. I mean, it gives a staircase kind of wave there, right? So it has got very useful. It totally rejects, or there is negligible charging current, same as that case of your differential pulse polarigraphy. Also, there is a lesser charging current being involved. So here also the charging current is very low. The potential time waveform involving successive potential steps of around 10 millivolts in height are applied here in this case. Like in a differential pulse polarigraphy, we applied a 50 millivolt pulse. In this case, the pulse is increased every time with increment of around 10 millivolts, and the pulse duration is around greater than 50 milliseconds. The condition kept here is again that the current is measured twice. One is before the pulse is applied and one at the end, that is after 40 milliseconds time. At that end of the 40 milliseconds or 10 milliseconds or 17 milliseconds time of period, the current is measured. So pulse time is around 50 millivolts. 10 millivolts of potential is applied every time to increase, and the current is measured at the end of each step where the charging current is negligible. So that reduces the capacitive current also. The peak shaped current response is similar to that of linear scan system. That is a peak kind of polarigram is obtained in the cases. So you can see here, this is the DPP, that is differential pulse one, right? Where you can see you are to a potential ramp, you are applying a equal potential pulse every time, that is 50 millivolt pulse. and you're measuring the current at two places, that is before the pulse is applied and at the end of the pulse, right? So in a staircase one also, you apply the pulse every time the pulse is incremented by 10 millivolts, right? So this region corresponds around 10 millivolts in every case, right? And the current is measured twice, that is at before the pulse is applied and at the end of the pulse, that is before the mercury drops falls into the electrolytic cell, the current is measured. So two times the current is measured, S1 and S2, right? So this current difference is plotted against the potential graph there. So this is because this shows a staircase kind of graph, that is called as staircase polarography, right? The other kind of polarography what you get here is the square wave voltammetry. So it is actually a kind of polarographic method where you use a square wave potential applied into the system. So previously we have seen a staircase wave where the potential is increased every time at about 10 millivolts, right? So here the pulse is increased to a particular time, then it is brought back, and then again it is increased, and this square wave, that is, you can say this is square wave because every time the change in amplitude is same, right? It goes to the forward direction, then comes to the reverse direction. So this is called as a square wave, and this square wave is superimposed onto a staircase wave of potential, right? So this gives you a potential ramp of this nature. That's why it is called as a square wave voltammetry. And here also the current is measured twice, that is at before the pulse is applied, that is at the lower end, and at the upper end of the pulse the current is measured. And you can see here, so we have two currents here, that is initial current and this current at the end of the drop and before the drop is formed for the other pulse kind of thing. So sample period is also here small here. What we are taking the sample period is about the at the end of the pulse, around 10 milliseconds to 17 milliseconds. So what you get here is a large amplitude differential technique. It is the waveform applied to the working electrode is symmetric square wave superimposed onto a base staircase potential. Current is sampled twice during each wave cycle. So this is a wave cycle, right? The one cycle this is, right? So every time there are the current is measured twice in this case. So one at the end of the forward pulse. So when it goes up, it is called as forward pulse. So at the end of this, right? So this is the current measured at the end of the forward pulse, and one is at the end of the reverse pulse. So when it comes down, right, it is coming down, and at the end of this you're measuring the current again. So this is called as the this is the reverse pulse current measurement. So current is measured twice, that is at the end of the forward pulse and end of the reverse pulse. So the forward pulse and reverse pulse, what we talk about is this, right? So when you go up, this is called as forward pulse is applied, and then the same amplitude it goes down, right, and the pulse is applied, this is called as a reverse pulse. So that's why you get this kind of graph here, right? So two current measurements, and the resulted square wave modulation you plot against the potential and the current, right? And you get the same kind of what you call the peak potential. So the modulation amplitude is very large here. Reverse pulse causes a reverse reaction of products formed from the forward pulse. The net current, that is I1 minus I2. So in this case, the forward pulse minus the reverse pulse current is taken, not the other way around, right? So I1 minus I2 is plotted against the staircase potential ramp. So this gives a peak shaped voltammogram or peak shaped polarigram. The reversible systems, the peak shaped voltammogram is symmetric about the half wave potential. If it is a reversible system, you get a very symmetric half wave potentials kind of thing, right? And the peak current, the height of the peak, what you get, the peak current is proportional to the concentration of the electroactive species. right? So in a square wave voltammeter, the higher sensitivity than the differential pulse is obtained, in which the because in a differential pulse polarigraphy there is no reverse current pulse applied, so there is no reverse current measured here. But in this case there is a reverse current measured, so it provides a higher sensitivity. So because the current is 4 times higher here, and the detection limit goes beyond 10 power minus 8, means the lesser concentration lesser than this can be determined. That is, some cases around 10 parts per billion concentration can also be measured using a square wave voltammetry, right? So the reduced analyze. So here one more thing is that the time span for measuring the whole scan, complete analysis can be done in very short time. That is in a time of one drop only you can perform whole scan of the whole voltage range can be carried out. So but for a differential pulse, for whole range it takes around 3 minutes for time. So it is a faster rate. The instrument measures the potential versus current curves in very short period of time, right? And the peak, so where the effective scan rate, what we call, is equal to F to delta ES, where F is the frequency of the square wave and delta ES is the step height, means how much pulse you are increasing every time. So this is very much useful in the kinetic studies because we are doing the scan rate in very short period of time. So this is a comparison of a polarigraphic methods what you have seen. So this is DC polarigraphy, that is simple direct current polarigraphy, right, where the potential ramp, linear potential ramp is used, and the polarigram what we get is having more noise. Then we have seen about the normal pulse polarigraphy, right, where a constant potential, you apply a pulse every time on a drop with an increased amplitude for a new drop, and you get this sigmoidal plot for it. Then we have seen about a differential pulse polarigraphy, where to the linear potential ramp you apply a potential pulse, equal potential pulse every time, and the current is measured twice in each case, right? That is, before the pulse is applied and at the end of the pulse, and you get the peak like polarigram where the peak height is directly proportional to the concentration of electroactive species, or the peak height is almost equivalent to the current that is measured there. Thank you.